So today we are here to talk about the latest release which was rolled out in the weekend of the previous weekend, last weekend, which was predominantly aimed at giving our customers like yourself more value from the existing features, predominantly audit documentation, which is a premium feature. And also we have added a new feature based on the request from many of you, that is timesheet management. Apart from this, we have had multiple major and minor enhancements, all of which we will walk you through today. This webinar will be in demo mode as always, and we have tried our best to talk about real life practical use cases rather than just a walkthrough of the features. I would love to hear back from you with your feedback on how close it was to the actual problems you are facing in daily profession. So the first, even before we move on to the new features, to set the context, I would like to give a recap of some of the existing features which we think are not fully utilized because we are not getting many queries from those. And these kind of set the context, or these form the foundation to help you utilize the new features effectively. The first thing is a very simple feature called user supervision hierarchy, which you can set in the team management, that is in the My Team page. So as you all know, you have this feature, you have this field called supervisor. This supervisor, every employee, every user of AssureAI can have only one supervisor, and the system allows you to define multi-level supervisor, just mirroring your organization. Typically, in any CA firm, there will be partners at the top, and the partners will have audit managers reporting into them, under whom there will be both senior and junior audit assistants. The same structure can be replicated over here. The advantage of doing this is that all your dashboards will start to make better sense. Because every dashboard that we have here, we have something called My Team's summary or assignments of my team. So the team here is nothing but your direct and indirect reportees as defined based on the supervisor hierarchy. So by properly configuring the supervisor hierarchy in the system, in the same way as it happens in your organization, you will be in better control of your, you will have greater visibility to what your entire team is working on. So be it in the form of assignment dashboard, task dashboard, or the new issue dashboard that we have introduced as part of this release. This is the first basic prerequisite for you to enjoy these features fully. The second thing is task management settings. So as we all know, these tasks, right? So in a statutory audit, when you click load audit program, you are shown a number of tasks. About 150 tasks are there. So these are coming from the settings page, the task management settings page. When you go into annual audit over here, the third step, that is configure tasks, lists all the tasks which are part of this assignment, part of this assignment type called annual audit. It is the same set of tasks that appear when you actually work on any engagement of type annual audit. This I think all of us know. Any engagement after it is originally planned, the initially planned with maker, checker, approver assignment, it needs to be, the checker needs to go into the planning view and select the tasks, and then they come into the execution view where the makers can work on them. So this is the normal flow. When a maker works on a task, it is entirely possible for you to SOPIs or whatever, create a proper standard operating procedure for your maker with all the information, necessary instructions for the maker in the system itself, thereby reducing the amount of training, manual instruction or supervision that is involved. So it is very much possible in AssureAI. Let us just see how you can do it. So to demonstrate this, we have created these new tasks under audit data preparation and financials, document data collection, aimed at purely collecting the data from your client user. I will spend a few minutes on how we configured this and what is the benefit of doing that before we go into the new features that are part of this release. So we have this group task called audit preparation and validation. So as you might already know, to add a task, you can click here, or to add a subtask under any existing group, you can click here. And when you create a task, the first thing to select is the type of task. Okay. So there are some commonly used tasks, which is group task for a folder-like behavior. To do task for any task where the maker has to follow certain instructions and just complete it. Letter task is another commonly used task for any document exchange like engagement letter, management representation letter. It is also used for areas like audit report preparation and all that. And questionnaire checklist needs no explanation. All of you are using checklists. So you can create your own to-do letter group task or a combination of these to configure the SOP that you use, the standard operating procedure that you use within your firm for not only annual audit, but any type of assignment. That's very much possible within AssureAI. So when you do that, apart from just defining the name of the task type and all that, there are many more things that you can do. For example, let us take this bank account borrowings data collection task, which is to be taken care by the client user. So here I have given the list of attachments that the client needs to upload. So here the list name of the document, description, who needs to upload, whether the client needs full access, whether it is mandatory or not. So these are entirely configurable over here. So these attachments appear at the bottom of the screen when the maker is actually, or the client is actually working on it. So let us take this for example. So the attachments which I have shown you there, they appear over here as attachments, and whatever is mandatory comes with a red asterisk. Unless the mandatory documents are uploaded, you can never close this task. So whatever we configure over here as attachments is what flows there. Number one. So let us say for some of these attachments, you also want your people to follow some predefined template. So you don't have to put up this template on some common drive and instruct your team manually. You can just upload the template over here. So when such templates are uploaded and any instructions that they need to follow in completing the task can be given over here. So these resources, templates, and the instructions appear in the execution view when the user is working on it over here, resources and guidelines. So whatever instructions you have configured from the admin screen will appear for every engagement. So here I am working on R901 annual audit 23-24. Every engagement, this particular task will have the same set of instructions. So tomorrow you want to change the template, change it centrally one place. Everything else, all other engagements will, which are starting from then on, will get the new template. So these are some of the features that we find are very useful to SOPize your entire practice, which is why I wanted to cover them today in preparation for this webinar. So when we started on this audit documentation initiative, we had originally designed the various types of tasks, and we started loading, predefining, using the help of our domain team, multiple templates, letters, and checklists, and adding them to this list. Many of our customers like yourself have also customized this to add more and more items to the list. At some point, we felt that the list was becoming too long and it was increasing the time that is required for planning. So this list has already grown to 160 plus tasks, and it is also observed that not every task is it is to be taken up. It is part of every engagement. It was a judgment call by someone senior as to which are the tasks which need to be marked as applicable to a certain type of assignment, certain client's engagement. So this created a dependency wherein after any audit is planned, the execution screen was coming blank, and it was left to the planning person, the person who's in charge of planning, who's typically the approver or checker of the assignment, to come here and manually select the tasks that are applicable. So this made it inconsistent sometimes. Critical tasks were also getting missed, and it also caused dependency on some of the senior resources, even though there are some basic tasks which the maker can very well start working on before, without waiting for his senior to come and plan them. So to avoid these delays and also to ensure consistency and uniformity in choosing the right set of tasks for similar engagements, we have come up with something called Task Pack. That is the first feature from the release 26.3 that I'm going to demonstrate. Task packs are configurable from the same task management settings page. We were here, configure tasks page, where all the list of tasks were shown. As a next step, we have introduced something called configuration of task packs. So you can define subsets of tasks and create predetermined task packs with those subsets of tasks, and also define some kind of applicability criteria. So which all client statuses are, are the right set of client statuses for which this can be applied. So how to create a task pack? You just simply define a name and pick a subset of task packs. So let us say I want to create a task pack for a startup which is not yet even making revenue. So client status can be anything, typically company, but then can be whatever. So I will only take up some very specific engagement documentation, letter seeking auditor consent and engagement letter. I will need to do some risk planning in terms of their sustenance. I may not do much of testing, they're not even making revenue. Some procedures related to investment and all that, funding and all that, we will need to define. So let us say some of those I create. So I select a subset of tasks for startup and create a task pack. Now, as a CA firm based in Bangalore, I may be having many startup clients, all of whom don't have to have all the 100 and odd tasks to be performed. So all I need to do is to go and associate the appropriate task pack with my startup clients, and the same set of tasks will be automatically selected for them. So for automatic selection, there is this switch button, automatically select tasks from task pack. If you do this, planning view is totally skipped. Whatever is in the task pack will automatically be made applicable, and the execution maker can automatically start work on it immediately. Let us see how that works. I go to client list. There is this client preferences, right? So I have the startup Gen Z Marketing Solutions Private Limited, which is a startup. I can go and select annual audit and select the startup. Now, when I plan an assignment for this Gen Z, going into load audit program, I will find that whatever tasks are planned for startup is the only things whichever tasks are a part of the task pack called startup task pack are the only things which are marked as applicable, and there is no dependency on someone to go and select them from planning. They are already here. So let us say I want to add some more tasks. not part of this task pack. There are more task packs. We saw that there were 4 different task packs created, right? So if I want to load tasks from another task pack, so let us say I want to also do everything that's part of basic audit. I can select that also, and then tasks that are additionally there in basic audit pack and not already part of startup task pack will get listed here, and I can decide which of them I want to plan. Those are not auto applied, but I can mark them as applicable and plan. So while doing this, the system automatically handles any duplicates. If there are tasks which are part of both the task packs, it is taken care that the system takes care that they don't get duplicated in this view. You can also define multiple task packs as applicable for the same client. For example, I have this ABC Textiles, which is a small partnership firm, but it is manufacturing. So I can pick and choose 2 different task packs over here. So I want to do basic audit pack as well as manufacturing. So when I do that, if I plan an assignment for A504 now, it will pick all the common tasks, all the tasks from both the task packs automatically. Sorry. I think 25, 26 is already planned for this. So if I go here and check as part of manufacturing, what have I actually taken? For a manufacturing client, typically inventory and assets are very important. So all the tasks related to assets and inventory are included here. Basic audit pack does not have assets and inventory. So now what I get for A504 should be a combination of this and this. Let us see. I'm not sure, just a minute. So it is from both the task packs, the unique set of tasks from both the task packs are included here. So this way, we move from spending too much time in planning and applying mind every time you plan an engagement for every client to one-time definition and auto execution. So we have covered task pack, which is part of the annual audit or any audit documentation or task management. Now moving on to timesheet. Timesheet is, as we all know, timesheet is nothing but a log of time spent on various tasks by the team. This is not a new practice. It has been there from olden days where everybody needs to punch how many hours they spent on which task. The same feature is available, has been added to AssureAI also. So to log time while you're working on any task, we have added this button, start timer, and also this log time option has been added at multiple places in the application. So starting from assignment landing page. So any annual audit that you're working on, the assignment landing page, you can click start timer. Or you can also log time. If you forget to start timer when you are working on a task and post facto you want to make an entry, let's say it's already a half an hour since you started and you want to log that time and then proceed, you can use the log time option. When you start timer, the timer just runs, and what all timers are running, since you can easily lose track of where the timer is running as you switch tasks, we have this show active timers option upon clicking the hourglass on the top bar to tell you where your current timer is running. If you want to stop timer, you can stop from here, or you could have stopped from here also. So this is automatic tracking of time. When you start work on, so let us say you go here and you start working on bank accounts scrutiny. So you start this task, and when you start the task, you can just set the timer and the system will track its time, track the time for you. It is possible that you are multitasking and you don't have time to stop one task and go to the next task, but you just want the system to track where all you have spent time, so that at the end of the day, you know where you have spent the time and you can go and edit and rationalize your timesheet. So if you want multiple parallel timers to be running, the administrator of your organization can do a one-time setting. So just like task management settings, on the same page, we also have a new tab called timesheet settings. Here, as an auditor or the administrator of your organization can set the basic policy, timesheet policy of your organization. Whether you want to allow overlapping time entries, what is your typical work week? If you want Saturdays to also work, you can select that. Allow entry, whether to allow entry on holidays and non-working days. And holiday calendar. The holiday calendar, annual holiday calendar of your company can be defined here, either by manually adding one by one or also uploading an Excel template over here. Submission frequency, whether you want timesheets to be submitted daily, weekly, monthly, that can also be set over here. The default settings in your, that we have done from our end is Monday to Friday working 8 hours a week, weekly submission, and we haven't defined any holiday calendar. We have left it to you to define. This is the default configuration which you can override one time from the admin login. So let us say you allow overlapping entries. Then the people in your team can log time, start multiple timers in parallel. So let us say I'm working on let's say I'm working on some AS audit procedure for which I have to refer back somewhere else, and I end up filling that checklist also. So whatever be the case, the valuation of inventory I'm starting work on. And while doing that, I understand that I should have already finished something else, and I switch tasks and I come here. Determine materiality was needed. So I start that task and I can also start the timer for this. Since overlapping time entries are allowed now, the system allows me to log time against multiple tasks in parallel. And if I lose track of where I have started the timer, this show active timers can help. So I can stop whatever if I'm not working. So this is about time logging on the fly. As you are working on a task, if you want to log the time, this is what you will do. So let us say you forgot to log the time. You already spent a lot of time on something, but you want to log it now. So you can use this log time option. Depending on the page where you are in, the system will automatically fill in many of the details. In this case, you are in the annual audit page of P903 Division 3, 2324. Only the task is not clear because you have clicked on it from the main assignment page. I can select the task and start the time. So this is for manually starting the timer. If I want to not even start the timer, I want to make a manual entry of some past task that I had taken up, then I can just enter over here. Here the time doesn't matter. Start time, end time does not matter. It is only the number of hours and minutes that are important. So I already spent 3 hours. 30 minutes on this task, I can always go back and log it post facto. This will also be part of my timesheet. So at the end of the day, for me to consolidate all the time I have logged and prune it further, I can go into this left-hand side menu, timesheet. So all the time entries that I have made in the current week, the week is selected by default because my timesheet submission frequency is weekly. The current week is selected by default. All the tasks that I have logged till now, date-wise, is available here. See, as you can see, 34 itself, there are so many things that are already logged. So here I can go and edit those time entries if I want to. And if something is to be stopped, line by line, I can go and edit it if I want to and prune my timesheet properly. Once I have done entered my time for the whole week, I can also submit it. Timesheet submission will go to the immediate supervisor. This is why I spoke about the supervision hierarchy in my team. So anybody who does not have a supervisor will not be able to submit the timesheet. But if it is submitted, it will always go to the immediate supervisor. If you are a supervisor having 1 or 2 levels or multiple levels of people reporting under you, you have this visibility to my team's timesheet here. So all the people in your entire chain of reporting will get listed here, and sitting at your desk, you can monitor where their time is going. So this is a summary page with drill down, and you can see who is working on what, how much time is being spent on which task from here. Timesheets submitted will go to the immediate supervisor for approval. Just a minute. So in this login, I am the immediate supervisor of some of just. Awaiting my review. 2 people have submitted their timesheets to me in the last week. They are my direct reportees. So I get the summary information here, what day to what day, how many hours they have logged. I can, if required, view the details, and I can also select all and approve or reject. Timesheets once rejected will go back to the person who submitted it, and he can further make changes. Center approval workflows also there. Currently, we do not have major reports prepared, but there is this dump available of all the time entries. The reports are under development. We didn't want to wait for those to be completed before we roll out the feature to you. There is this time sheet dump that is available in Excel for you to do any analysis in the meantime. Next steps would be to allow you to create ad hoc tasks, since time can also be spent in non-client tasks, internal tasks. We are coming up with an option for you to create ad hoc tasks and work on them, and also log time against those ad hoc tasks. And multiple rich reports are under development for you to draw from your team has logged. So the next enhancement is Excel import for checklist. So we have multiple audit checklists in the audit documentation, and some checklists can really be long, hundreds of points. So instead of filling them manually one by one and frequently clicking on the save button, we have enabled the option of filling the checklists outside and importing them in one shot. Scale. So, I'll take any checklist, for example, intangible assets checklist. So when you go to task, the list of questions, possible responses, all this we know. We can enter responses, we can enter comments, and we can upload attachments also. Only attachments now have to be done through the system. There is no way of Excel importing the attachments. However, the responses and comments can be filled one time in Excel and imported. How do we do that? We can use this option. Previously, there was already a download PDF option that we have just moved inside. For Excel import, first you need to download the Excel template. Only the template which is from this task, that is RST Industries R901 2324 AS26 be back. Does not have to import the wrong template or some other client's template into this. So then checklist here, the you can just fill the checklist. You can also use whatever. So let us say I just do it quickly like this. I could be making mistakes also. Let us say I copy pasted the wrong value. System will validate those things and give you an error in case you have imported something, some incorrect value. So I have filled the checklist over here partially, and when I'm done, I can come into this and just import. It's like any other Excel import. So it says total questions are 28, saved 21. There are no failed answers. Whatever I have filled in over there is automatically populated here. I just need to save it. So this can save time and protect you against any accidental timeout and loss of information while you are filling a checklist. Very small, valuable enhancement. The issues dashboard, which has been there already in AssureAI, issue tracking is nothing new, but the issue dashboard was a little outdated. We have now brought into our standard dashboard structure. So we have it here next to assignment dashboard and task dashboard. All the issues that you have or your team has raised will be listed over here in the form of similar cards similar to the assignment dashboard. So assignment type wise, issue aging, priority, and status wise summary is given here. If you are a supervisor, you have this access to my team summary and assign to my team. You have different tabs, whatever is raised by you or your team and whatever is assigned to you or your team. We have separate views. A similar view is there for the client user also. Let me switch to client login. Just the client user also has a similar issue dashboard, so he can keep track of where what stands. The problem was that the list was growing enormously for the chartered accountant, and we have hence changed the design for you to be able to be in better control of the issues raised by your team. So this assigned to my team or whatever, all these only list the assignments and you have the summary of how many are open, resolved, pending, closed and all that. You can further drill down to go to the respective assignments issue dashboard to get the detailed list of issues. Another important update with issues is that previously you were only able to raise issues against from specific places like from ledger scrutiny or data validation or from the assignment landing page itself. Now you can raise issues from anywhere, like any task. I'm working on a task, a checklist. I can go and raise issues against a checklist for a letter or a group task. Anywhere you can raise issues from. That's a new thing. So let us say I am working on equity FSLI checklist and I want to raise some issues. So if I'm assigning it to a client, then and the client does not have access to this task, the system will automatically warn me, and so that the client can actually work on this issue and resolve it. So the task level issues are there. Anything that has been raised against a task under a specific assignment will get rolled up under the assignment. So when I go to the issue dashboard of an assignment, I have the option of including all the child tasks issues. So the recent issue which I logged against FSLA testing checklist is available over here, and I can also switch to the task and get the complete context. So this is the other enhancement that's been part of the release. There are multiple other smaller enhancements and bug fixes. One of the important things is that as we all know, we can import clients' data into AssureAI, and then you can also make audit entries within AssureAI manually. So there is a feature to enter vouchers in AssureAI using this voucher entry page. So any audit entries that you don't want to go back to Tally, but make it quickly within AssureAI, you can just use this voucher entry page. Often it was reported that when the user was re-importing the books, the vouchers which were manually entered were getting deleted. Even though we have designed this voucher entry as a quick entry and not as a permanent thing, but there was some amount of data loss which was reported. So now at the time of, let us say I have a voucher that is entered, for some reason I have had to pass a manual voucher in within AssureAI. Subsequent to this, when I'm going and trying to import a new version, before importing any new version, I will first go and reject data validation. When I try to reject it, the system will give you a warning that you are going to lose the data and allow you to download the copy of the journal entries before you proceed with rejection. The same thing, even if you miss doing it now, even at the time of re-importing of the data, books, again, the system will warn you so that you can proceed with downloading before import. Another feedback that we got was that as the people kept giving access to client user in various tasks, at some point it was becoming difficult to keep track where the client has access to, which are all the tasks the client has access to. So we have added this column. To reduce clutter, we have kept some columns hidden, but there is this column which can be enabled for if you need access to it. So this will give you clearly which are all the tasks and what level of access your client user has to those tasks. So if you want to revoke access, you can easily edit and revoke it also. Yeah. The remaining are all self-explanatory and smaller fixes. So the release note has been made available via a banner on top, which I just closed. And also a PDF version of the release note will be shared with you. I request you all to try out the new features and come back to us with your feedback so that we can improve it further for your use.